Hey everyone, in this video we will see how to extract first name, middle name and last name from a given string in just 11 steps. Basically the whole idea is whenever we get data 9 times out of 10, the data that we get is either not very easy to work with or it's not clean. This is exactly what we see over here in column A. We have the data, but the data is not exactly clean the way we would want it. From this set of names, we need to pull out first name, middle name, and last name. To do that, let us see how we can first clean the data and then start working on it. So let us start with our first step. Let us go to E3. Select range E3 and enter the function equal to proper open bracket trim open bracket select A3 close bracket again. So now what we have over here is Samuel Bravo Jones. Over here has a lot of spaces, unwanted spaces, but over here it's clean. We have Samuel, one space, Bravo, one space, and then we have Jones. So if you drag this down, we have all the names cleaned up to pull out the names that we want, which is the first name, last name, and of course the middle name or names, whatever you see there. So the next step is we need to understand what is the length of this entire data with spaces first. So we'll say equal to len for length, and we select the data there, hit enter, drag it down all the way. The length of E3 is 18 characters, then we have 23, 14, 12. So this is the length of the data that you see over here. The reason we need this is when we get to pulling data out of this string, we will need this number. Now let us see what is the actual length without any spaces in it. So for that, what we need to do is we need to first substitute the spaces to a null value and then look at the length of the entire string. So we will say equal to substitute. We will say E3 is our text, comma, then it says that it requires the old text, which is a space, and what is the new text that we want instead of that? We will say open quotes, close quotes. Right now we will not do anything with the instance number. Since it is in square brackets, it means it's an optional value. If you want to add it, you can add it. If you leave it blank, it will take a default value. We'll hit enter, and now it changes Samuel space Bravo space Jones to Samuel Bravo Jones. But over here we don't need the text. What we need is the number. So what we'll do is we just need the length of this entire string over here. Go next to equal to sign, type in len, open brackets, come to the end of the statement, close bracket, hit enter. Now we have the length without the spaces. So initially it was 18, so we have Samuel space is 1, Bravo space is 2. So Samuel Bravo Jones is actually 16 characters. With 2 spaces it is 18 characters. So now we have actual length with space, we have actual length without space. Step 4. What is the total number of spaces in this string? What is the total number of spaces? The total number of spaces is actually nothing but actual length with space minus actual length without space. So all that we need to do is equal to sum, open bracket, step 2 minus step 3, hit enter. The number of spaces is 2. 1, 2. So whatever is the number of spaces, we get that over here. We just drag it down and we have 2, 2 over here. It says 1. So maybe we have just first name and last name. First name and last name. First name and last name. There is no middle name. So we have 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1. Okay. Now we need to substitute the last space in E3. We need to substitute it with a different character. The reason being, the first space will let it remain a space. The second space will change it to something else. Not the second space. The last space will change it to a different character. So that when we need to extract just the last name, we only specify the count. We start counting from the last character. So let us see what the new character is. Equal to substitute. It first requires a text that we need to substitute. So we say the text is in E3, comma. What is the old text that you need to substitute? We say open quotes, space, close quotes, comma. So that means we need to substitute a space over there. Then it wants what is the new text you want to substitute it with. So we'll say open quotes, at, close quotes. So at is the new placeholder for the second space here. And now it asks us for the instance number. So last time we did not have to give an instance number because we wanted to change both the spaces. But this time we don't want to change both of them. We just want to change the last one, which is we just want to change the last one, which is actually the step 4, and hit enter. So now it says Samuel Bravo Jones. So only the last space in each of them has changed. See that? Kristen Maldo Borden, at Cardozo, at Raina, at Gomes. So Nancy, between Nancy and Melroy there is no change, but between Melroy and Gomes it has gone from Nancy space Melroy space Gomes to Nancy space Melroy at Gomes. Now that we have finished this, we need to find where that new placeholder is placed in the entire string. So all that we do is equal to find, open bracket, open quotes, at, that is the find text. Within text we say I3, start number no need to give, close bracket, enter, and we drag it down all the way. So over here the at sign is the 13th placeholder, at sign is the 16th placeholder, at sign is the 7th placeholder. So everything after the at sign is actually nothing but the last name. Now when we use the mid function to pull out the last name, we'll have to give it start position and we'll have to give it number of characters. So to give the start position is now very easy. Anything after the at sign is where our start position is. So over here we'll say start of last name equal to sum this plus 1. So now if I see the 14th character in this text or in this text, the 14th character is from where my last name starts. So if I just say equal to mid text from here, from E3, comma, start number I will say 14, comma, number of characters right now I'll say 25 and close bracket. Because I said start from 14, it gave me only Jones. But of course the number of characters that we gave, 25, is, we just presumed it's going to be 25 or less. So we gave it 25. So we'll just delete this for right now. Over here what we need is the last name character count. So how do we get that is, we say actual length without the space minus start of last name. Uh, just a moment. Yeah. So we say equal to sum F3 minus J3. Once we enter that, it tells us last name character count is 5. So if you look over here, the last name is Jones. J is 1, O is 2, N is 3, E is 4, S is 5. That's exactly what we want. If I drag this down, we have Jones, which is 5 character long. We have Borden, which is 7 character long. We have Cardozo, which is again 7 characters long. We have Raina, which is 5 characters long. Gomes, 5 characters long. Fatula is 8 characters long. So we have the count of number of characters that the last name contains. Once we have done this, now we need to extract the first name first. So instead of extracting it from here, we will actually extract it from here first. So the formula for your first name is equal to left open bracket E3 comma. Now since we know everything before the space is the number of characters that we want, what we will enter is equal to left open bracket E3 comma sum open bracket find open bracket open double quotes space close double quotes comma E3 comma 1 close bracket minus 1. So when we minus 1, when we subtract 1 from the placeholder that we found over here, we automatically get the balance characters. So SAMUEL, which is 6 characters, is what we get. If we don't subtract this, we'll get Samuel and a space which we don't want. So this is how we get to the first name. Now before we get to the middle name, let us see how the last name works. For last name, basically what we need is, we'll start with the mid function. We'll say equal to mid open bracket. Where is the text that we need to get the data from? So we say that is E3. The next thing it wants is the start number. Where should I start looking for the data? From which placeholder do I start looking for the data? So I say the start number over here is already defined in K3, comma. If you go to K3, it says start of the first name. So that is where the first character or the first letter of the last name starts. Then, what is the number of characters you want me to pull out? So we say that is already defined in L3 and close bracket. If we go to L3, it tells us it needs 5 characters. That is the last name character count. Now when I hit enter, it gives me the last name. So let's drag down all the first names. Let's drag down all the last names. So over here we have Samuel. Obviously we're missing Bravo because we still haven't added a middle name over here. So over here we have Samuel, Jones, Kristen, Borden, Philip, Cardozo, Pankaj, Raina, Nancy, Gomes, Sunny, Fatula, Huzefa Khan, Latesh, Sagar. Now all that we need to do is we need to get the entire string over here and substitute the first name to a null value and last name to a null value, and after that we just need to trim whatever remains. So I will say equal to substitute. The first thing I need is this E3. E3 is the text that I want to call over here. So what is the old text that I need to substitute? I will just select the first name, comma. What do I need to substitute it with? And I'll say a null value, comma. Sorry, no comma, because there is no instance number. We don't want to give it any instance. Wherever you see Samuel, just change it. and we close bracket and we hit enter. So now what we have over here is, we don't have Samuel, but the rest of the name we have from here. But again, from this string, I also need to remove Jones. So I will again start after the equal to sign, and I will say substitute, open bracket, from this range, comma, old text is in D3, comma, what do I need to substitute it with? Nothing, a null value. So now what we get over here is Samuel Bravo Jones. But you see there's a space between, there's a space at start, and of course there's a space in the end as well. We need to ensure that this looks clean. So we just go back and we say whatever you find, trim it, remove all the unwanted spaces, and close bracket. This is what we have. Control D. Of course, over here, the C column is dependent on B and D. We don't want that. In fact, we don't want any of these columns to be dependent on anything else. They should all depend on A3 only. I will try and put the formula for that under the video. You can either access it from there, or if you cannot do it, you can contact me. You can just scan the details from here, or you can reach me on my email address and I'll be glad to send the details to you. Cheers everyone. Goodbye.